Hello, I hope life is good and everything is okay. We shared earlier on about this moment now and also about the time, and I'm intrigued to have this concept of the mind. Some of my friends have challenged me to talk more about the operations of the mind and how the mind operates so that it either leads us towards success or leads us towards failure. Now, the biggest driving force in every human being must be his dreams or his life goals. You must be able to draw so much energy, so much inspiration, so much wisdom from the goals that you set your life to achieve, because the most important purpose of our living on this world is to be fruitful, is to co-create according to how our Creator commanded us. And what can we use to co-create? It should arise from our innermost self, discovering our trueness in life, and then using the mental instrument that God blessed us with to make new innovations, so that we just don't have to follow through other people's co-creations, but to be our own entrepreneurs in any life adventure that we get ourselves into. Did you read a book about what you read is what you become? You better go and find that book, because it's very important for you to know that your mind's content is as a result of the things that you do impress onto it. Because the mind adheres to known places, to known images, to known experiences, to known emotions. It responds more better when it is within that comfort zone, and if you're going to get it from that comfort zone, you have to train it. That's why I came up with this concept of reprogramming your own mind. You are not your own mind, you are independent of your own mind. But today, so many humans don't realize that the mind uses them. They cannot differentiate between their mind, themselves, and the actions they take in life. They think that the mind is doing the right thing. But let me tell you, if you do not wake up and reprogram your own mind, the mind is going to master you, because from childhood you've been trained by the worldly systems to understand the world at a mind level. When two people come together, if they are not awakened, if they are not enlightened, they will be talking or exchanging ideas at mind to mind level, not human to human speaking. No, that's why we have so many arguments. That's why we have so many conflicts, like in relationships, because it's not human to human communicating. No, it's mind to mind, and the mind uses its ego element to be defensive, to find accusations, to find ways of inflicting onto others and showing that others must be judged as wrong and it alone is right. So if you can't understand that the mind has the power to use you, you will never get unstuck from your situations, because the mind creates these situations and makes it look like a promise that you are going to be happy in the time that is coming. So you get lost in the future. And on the other side, it creates a situation of borrowing all these expressions from our past. That's why you are always depressed. You find yourself that you can't handle the situations in which you are at the moment, simply because the mind has mastered you. The mind does not want your true self to be in your own position as a human being, because once you wake up, you will suppress it. You must give it a level at which it has to operate in your own life. When you need it to operate, it will go at work. If you don't need it to be at work, it has to be at rest. And the mind's ego element does not want that. This is not an easy subject that can easily be taken in by the minds that we do have today, because the mind doesn't want to accept the truth. It wants you always to live in an illusion that you are in control, but when actually it's the mind that is using you. You must wake up and master up your own mind. Other words, any relationship, any communication that goes on without having your true self in your own body, being present at the moment and adhering to the norms of the present moment, to take full responsibility and accept the circumstances in which you find yourself, the mind will continue using you so that you continue serving it than serving yourself. The mind must be your subordinate. You must be its master. But today, the mind is your master and you are the subordinate. You do what the mind wants you to do. That's why we've got so many people, they can't realize that the mind is using them to do so many things, and that's why we get too much drama in people's lives. People keep asking, why is this happening to me? Who would you suggest? You are not in control of your own mind. You do not know that your own mind is using you to take on actions as your errors in judgment. Because you will never know that they are your errors until when the drama in your own life has taken form. So it's very important you know the level at which your mind must operate, at which you yourself must operate, and at which the actions you perform in life must be executed. Else, the mind continues to draw energy from its ego element. The mind's ego element strives to be in charge of your own life. So many people cannot master up their own minds. They cannot tell it to stop thinking and it stops. No, they just wonder why they are not creative, why they continue being and doing the things they absolutely know that they are not good things for their own lives. But the point comes in only at this level. If you are going to live a happier life, you must take full responsibility of your mind. You must master up your own mind by reprogramming it. You must wake up. The reason why your mind is mastering you is because the being in you has not wakened up to take its own place. Think about it. In a house, if any man on this planet has a house and he is not in the house, what happens? All kinds of habits, behaviors will go on in such a house. All filthy things can happen. All behaviors that cannot be adhered by the owner, because once the owner of the house is in the house, there is a set of standards that must be followed. But because you, the being in you, that divine power in you, does not take its own place in your own life, it comes to be that the mind's ego takes your place and then confuses you to be submissive to it. You will join groups that are peer groups for which are doing things that you yourself as a being cannot wish to do, but because the mind's ego is driving your own life, it will draw you into submitting to such actions. And remember, whatever you do, you are responsible for your own life. You will suffer. Your body will suffer. Those situations will continue bringing drama in your own life. Don't you ever ask, why am I sick? Why am I ill health? Remember, the only time you will know how important health is, it's when you become ill health. When you cannot master up your own energy to do the things you want to do in your own life, will be the day you will realize how important to have your own health. But it all comes from the programming in your own mind. If you cohabit with people whose minds are filthy, whose minds have too much profanity, vulgarity, which is taking on so many youth today. You listen to certain youth speaking and spewing all profanity, all vulgarity, and you wonder, how can such a human being be co-creative in his own life? With such a mindset filled with all the filthy words on this planet. We talked about the mind is like a printer. Anything you say out through your mouth, a piece of it is recorded in your subconscious mind. Now, when you go to sleep or when you are awake, those words continue taking up a bigger space in your memory, and you cannot take charge of your own mind, because these words all the time are trying to conflict with whomever comes your way. You can't master up your emotions when your subconscious mind, your emotions, your feelings are using you. You get off so many times with other people. Any communication you have with some people and the mind tries to judge what the other mind is saying, you will find yourselves in an argument. Why? Because there is no standard at which you must command your mind to either be at work or to be at rest. The mind continues using you in a way that your absence, it's advantage. So we've had parents who have been so harsh in our lives, but the moment they are not at home, the children in the house are very happy. And why? Because there isn't that higher power in the house to instruct what must be going on in the house. The same things happens with your own mind and yourself. Wherever you don't train your own mind to do the things you want it to do, it will always subject you to silence. It wants to be the head, not the tail. No, you must reverse that. You must be the head of your own life. You must take initiative and command your mind. Use your mind according to how you want it to operate in your own life. I previously told you the reason why you are getting the results you are having today in life and why you are struggling so much on achieving anything in life. It's because the mind is using you to serve others. Think about it. If in a day, all the time you have in a day is to work on other people's goals in life. You wake up and go at a job. You wake up and people are communicating with you on social media. They want to take up your own time. They take up your present moment is time for which you must be practically doing certain things for you to move towards success than moving towards failure. We said success is a set of disciplines that must be practiced and followed every day. If you go off that set of disciplines, you are moving towards failure, which we defined as errors in judgment repeated every day. If you continue repeating those errors today, tomorrow, you lose so much time on social media, you lose so much time working on other people's goals, you lose so much time communicating with other people on the phone, following up where they have to be, catching up with other people. We don't have so much time on this globe. By the time you are in your 40s, that's when you start waking up and you realize you don't have anything in life and you are still struggling, moving from job to job, trying to make ends meet. Why? Because you lost so much of your time through your 20s, through your 30s, and you've never realized that you are moving towards an undesigned destiny because you don't have any standard on which you could take your life. At this level, I want to communicate about major time and minor time. Know when to use your major time in life and when to use minor time in life. Anything, any person in life brings on to you must be treated with minor time. You must use your 5 senses to study how other people want to use your time in your own life. Let you not give your only time you have in a day to others, attending to what others need of you. And you wake up growing old, struggling, reaching 50 years, you are still a poor man. You've been working through all your 20s, 30s, but you don't have anything to show. The only thing you can show is a couple of kids, and you forget that these are liabilities. The only thing you can have with your kids is to be proud of them, and that is an ego's element of the mind. It wants to show how proud you are with the children, but what kind of life are you providing to your own children? If you do not strategize and set properly, well laid out standard on which you must live through your 20s, how you must live through your 30s. Other people will use your time and you will reach your old age only to realize that you are a sophisticated beggar. All you can do is ask your children to help you, ask friends to help you. You have so many debts, you are back on your bills, you can't afford your own health, you are in a life situation that I normally consider as total disaster. I don't want you to reach total disaster in your own life. Your own life is so special, and you can wake up today to reprogram your mind to serve you than to serve others. Whichever other people have ever said to you in your life, it was meant to use you during that time. So don't cling on to anything anyone has ever said to you. It's none of your business in this moment now. Take initiative to be the master of your own life. Nothing will stand in your way if you are determined to stand on your two legs and say, my purpose in life, my project in life is to transform my own life and the lives of those that come in my life. Anyone who does not conform to my standard is not a quality person for me. So you must make a selection of only quality people. OQP. Put up with only quality people. Leave mediocres to find their level. They don't belong to a standard that you have set up. Let them go because they depend on relying on others. Their happiness is to see your life with too much drama. That's why we have so much comedy today, which only reveals the lost true virtues in our own society. You see a comedian speaking all vulgarity, profanity before the audience, and all the audience has to do is to laugh. What are you picking? What are you learning? What are you teaching the generation? What are you training the minds before you? Will you be remembered for such emotional downfall only to end up in life not being able to master your own lives? Wherever the mind masters you and uses you, your life will never be happy. Never look at those people who speak all the profanity and vulgarity in the name of being comedians, artists in the comedy industry, and you think they are happy. No, they are not happy. Their mind is using them to do all that kind of profanity. They spew all vulgarity and you are there listening in. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Your own life is so special that it needs OQP. Only quality people, only people who have worked on their true virtues, that they have become the better of themselves in their own lives. Not people who are wandering generalities, who are from one thing today to another. Such people, in 10 years from today, they will be dragged. The waves of life will have put them in their place. In other words, in total disaster. I've never heard of a successful, rich person who spews vulgarity, profanity before the generations at hand. That's not a true purpose in life. That's an emotional attachment that the mind is using such a human being in that dilemma of life, and such kind of drama should be left to people who are wandering generalities, not people with specific true values like you in your own life. Set a standard today. Come up with specific disciplines that you must practice every day, every moment of your life. Choose your OQP team. Let it be a team that you all enhance each other. You learn from each other. You grow each other. You value the presence of each other so that you propel yourselves together to a well-designed destiny, not to an undesigned destiny. And the choice must be done right now and in this moment. Take that decision and I will see you being in charge of your own life, because the true self in you will have wakened up and it takes on its place in your own body so that you get the results you need out of life. And I will see you at the top. Alright, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys who motivate me to come up with more topics on what to share with you. Send in your comments. Let's share together. Let's make this world a better place. Thank you guys and love you all. Bye.